Blog Talk Radio.
Donna, are you there? Hello, Donna.
Can you hear me?
Hey, we don't have Donnie. Oh, there's Donna. How you doing?
Hi.
I was just.
Can you hear me?
Dave, and yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Thank you.
All right. All right.
And I'm Donna.
Really? That's great. As I said, this is our debut podcast, which means it's probably going to suck. So, what can we do?
Yeah. We have a lot to figure out
here. We are here to entertain the people, Donna. We're here to entertain the people.
I'm just here to entertain myself, actually.
I'm going to put a disclaimer out there. Here's my disclaimer for all you people listening in. My disclaimer is that, one, we're probably going to suck, which I've already said. But two, believe it or not, my wife doesn't want me to do this. My wife does not want me to do this podcast. Let me tell you why. One, she knows I cuss a lot. So there's your first warning, people. I have a mouth like a truck driver. The second part, though, is my wife knows me. She's my best friend. She knows I can be a bit abrasive. This is the part that bothers me, that I'm going to rub sandpaper on some wounds somewhere along the line. So I'll just throw that disclaimer out there. I'll just apologize in advance and just kind of go from there. So there we go. But This is our debut. Yeah, this is our debut episode, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Fanorama and how we got into the cars and see where it takes us. So what do you think, Donna?
Now, yes, you have been in the cars world a lot longer than I have. I have only really been in it for like maybe 2 years, probably not even that long. But you've been in it for a long time, so you get to start with the history of the Fanorama.
Yeah, basically you're saying
Let's
I'm
go.
old.
Let these good times roll, Dave.
Let's go. All right. So
there you go.
Here's my story. Little 14-year-old Davey, how I got into the cars. There was an older kid that lived on our street, a couple years older than me. Went down to his house one day, have no idea why, probably to buy drugs. Who knows? That's a joke, by the way. I go into his bedroom, and he's one of these guys that has the towering stereo speakers. And mind you, this bedroom of his is like, 3 foot by 3 foot. I mean, it's a closet basically, but he's got these towering speakers in there, and Good Times Roll was playing. And, such a vivid memory for me of that. I don't remember hearing anything else of that album, but me asking, hey, who is this? And him showing me the cover and that kind of thing.
The cover with the big mouth girl on it.
With the big maw of a mouth, yes. And
yes, exactly.
From there,
just clarifying.
I kind of put it in my head, filed it away. But I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Over the Edge.
Maybe.
It came out in '78. It's about youth gone wild, but the Cars actually have a couple of songs.
Yes, those kids that live in that little town, and Matt Dillon.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes,
I saw that movie, and I heard in that movie they have, I think Best Friend's Girl plays first in the movie, and then Just What I Needed plays a little bit later. And, you know, and I heard those songs in this movie, and I was like, wow, I like those songs. And I got the soundtrack, and then I noticed that it was the Cars, and I, you know, put two and two together. Wow, it's that same band. So that's when, you know, I eventually went out and got the debut album. So, you know, that kind of got me started on that. And, you know, I've always been the kind of person after that, every album after that, I got on release day, starting with Candy-O. And actually went with that same guy who introduced them to me, because we both were going to get Candy-O. But the funny thing about it is that, you know, I was a couple of years younger than him. I didn't hang out with him. None of my friends, you know, were into the Cars. Nobody. And, you know, it's just one of those things where you thought, I must be the only person who likes this band.
Right.
I can remember once in high school I was at a kegger, heard Candy-O playing, and I walked towards the sound. So I wanted to find out who's playing this, whatever, and walked and found out it was like some of the jock boys that we call them jocks. And I was so put out by that. You know, it's like, damn, there's one other guy in the whole school who likes the Cars, and it's some guy who's going to kick my ass, you know. So I didn't approach him or anything. So I've just kind of lived a life of, well, nobody really likes the Cars, and everybody,
Cars,
you know, when they heard the Cars, they thought of me. But you know, that kind of takes me up from 78, 79 up until, you know, the internet hitting. Now, I don't know, I can't remember how much younger you are than me, Donna, but, you know, when the internet hit,
loads. I'm loads younger.
When AOL hit, you know, it was like 94 or whenever that was a biggie. And,
right.
You know, I got on the, what did they call them, the news groups, the bulletin boards, the alt groups, the Cars, you know, on AOL. And that's when I realized, oh, my God, this band is bigger than I ever thought they were. You know, I mean,
wait. Okay, wait. So through the 80s and stuff, just because of where you lived or whatever, you didn't realize, I mean, you didn't see them in magazines, you didn't realize they were like
all that?
I
had all that stuff for myself.
You see them on TV, like a Live Aid and all that?
Never meeting people or being around people that were into them as much as I was.
Okay, so when you're saying that they're a big group, you're talking about the fan, that there was a bigger fan base than you were aware of.
I had no idea that there were other people out there like me who were rabid over the Cars. I mean, this blew me away. Totally blew me away. And you know, it was from there that I got wind of the Frozen Fire email list.
Okay.
And you know, and that was a world all its own. Great days. A lot of the people that you still see in the Fanorama now, you know, came from that list. And I'd say their names, but one, I don't know if they want me to say their names, and two, some of them I probably wouldn't pronounce right after 20 some odd years anyway. But you know, that was a cool thing because, you know, in your email inbox are all these things about the Cars, and you know, people were talking about, you know, when releases would come out, and you know, like the Cars anthology when that came out. But you know, I also learned that Rick Ocasek had the Negative Theater CD. I mean, I didn't even know it existed. And you know, when I got wind of that, I just about went nuts. You know, like how could there be something I don't have? Or people would have bootlegs of this and that. Like, how could somebody have something that I don't have? It blew me away. But you know, you had a lot of camaraderie in that, where people would, you know, send copies of things to you, or people would say, hey, I'm looking for, you know, Benjamin Orr's solo CD. If anybody sees it anywhere, can you pick it up for me? People would do that. You know, hey, I've got one for you. I'll send it to you. Just send me, you know.
So great.
I don't think PayPal wasn't even around then, I don't think. I remember sending checks to people, you know, and that kind of thing. So, you know, it was a lot different in the fact that you know, I found all these people who were just like me, but and people who were giving of their time and of their knowledge and of, you know, material things about the cars
Yeah.
that you couldn't find in your neck of the woods. So,
Yeah.
but at some point in time, the Frozen Fire email list died. Michael Elkins, who is a god in the Cars fanorama, but I don't think he wants to be bothered with it, by the way. I tried to contact him and got no response. I think he's left it behind. But, eventually that Frozen Fire group shifted over to Facebook. So we had, that brings us up to the Facebook era. And I, and some of those same people from the Frozen Fire email list shifted the Frozen Fire page on Facebook, and it's still on today. They don't post very much, but it's still there today. So that kind of brings us up to there.
I've seen it. Yeah.
So what about you?
Let me ask you a question. Well, okay, before. Story. Oh well, how much time do you have?
Well, no, actually,
we have 19 minutes. Well, yes. Here's my question. So, were you doing graphics? When did you start getting into the whole graphic area? Because that's
like
kind of what you're known
podcast.
For around the.
Yeah.
All right. But were you doing any at that point or not?
Oh yeah. That started during the Frozen Fire email list days, doing mostly CD covers. People would have the files, the CDs. Oh man, I need to have a cover. So you make a cover and send it out to you send it to the email. People could print it up themselves. But funny thing is, all those sticker labels for the CDs, we find out now so many years later, they're starting to come off. They've gotten warped and crinkly. You try to play it now, and it doesn't work. So lost a few recordings that way. All right, Donna, so you're up. Tell us your story.
Okay, so my deal is, I'm not really that much younger than you are, but I grew up in the 80s and heard the Cars all growing up, and I liked their music pretty well, and I, of course, remembered the visage of Rick Ocasek, and he was sort of the face of the Cars for me at that time, and we, had some music and stuff, but not much, and but then I grew up and I got married and I had kids and spent the last, 20 years listening to Barney and Raffi and Adventures in Odyssey and all of those things, which I love still. And then
Baby Beluga in the deep blue sea. That is a great
the
Raffi
tunes.
song.
You got it.
I do know the tunes.
And so I know you do. And so a year or two ago, my husband and I were driving home from a trip, and a Cars song came on the radio, and we got into a discussion about that there was more than one singer for the Cars, and we were like, and I said, I just can't even picture who that other person would be, and all I could think of is Rick. I think we were listening to Best Friend's Girl or something, and so we got home and we YouTubed the Cars. And okay, here's my disclaimer. I didn't say it at the beginning of the show, but I get a little giddy, and I'm going to try to contain it, but if I don't, well, you're just going to have to deal with it, because when we start talking about the Cars, I get a little hyper. So we get home, we YouTube it. We YouTubed Just What I Needed, and of course, here comes the Midnight Special, 1978. I'm trying to keep it calm here. And I'll tell you,
your breathing is
Benjamin
getting
Orr, I'm trying, believe me, I really am. Benjamin Orr, seeing him take the mic and start singing that song, you want to talk about a frozen fire. I was rooted to the floor. I could hardly breathe. I turned red. I was blushing, and my husband made a comment of like, "Wow, kind of, are you okay?" But and so of course we're joking about, he looks like he's stoned because he's got those heavy-lidded eyes, but inside inside I burst. And so that kind of started for me as far as and my personality is very research-oriented. If I'm into something, I am all in. And so I just immediately dove into this whole, who are the Cars, what's their history, who is this man standing at the mic, and I just really started getting into it. Well, so when that happened, I decided to create a separate Facebook world for my Cars world, my Benjamin world, and
it was a double life.
I did start to lead a double life. You're right.
You need
I had my backseat rumble. I had my front seat wife. What? I didn't hear what you said.
What are you saying?
All right. So I adopted the name Sweet Purple June, which comes from a lyric from one of their songs I had discovered by that point. And I set up my Facebook thing, and so that I could join groups and research everything and post whatever I wanted to post about it and stuff. Well, then when I was on Facebook, so then I started joining those groups that you're talking about. There's lots of them out there, and then I saw somebody post.
While we're on the subject.
Okay, well, the two most prominent ones that I think of, there's one that's just called The Cars, and
Good title.
Then there's the one, I know. And then there's one called Benjamin Orr Remembered. That was the first group I joined, was Benjamin Orr Remembered. It used to be called something different. But that was the first one I joined. And I don't know, what are some of the other ones out there? There's the Cars Fanorama, which is really my favorite.
Fanorama.
Cars Fanorama is a great one. There is Moving in Stereo.
It was better before the administrator went ballistic, but there's also the Cars.
Snapped, but he's
the
back.
Cars. The Cars Panorama page.
Yeah, there's Panorama.
Right?
Mm-hmm. There's Moving in Stereo. Substitution, Mass Confusion.
Cars Inside My Head.
Yeah.
By our friend, I won't say her name. Just making sure.
I know. I've been tempted to say it a couple times, but I haven't.
All Things Elliot Easton. We have that one.
Yes, All Things Elliot Easton. Yep. And then there's a Greg group. There's a Rick group. There's a couple Rick groups, I think. There's a whole host of them, and they're great.
There's the Frozen Fire group.
Yes.
That originated. I have no idea which group do you think has been around the longest? I mean, not Fanorama. Frozen Fire has definitely been around the longest, but
from the very beginning,
of there. I have no idea. Probably just the one called The Cars. Might be my guess. I'm not sure.
I have no idea. I don't know. Okay, so anyway, in one of those groups I saw a post about that Elliot Easton was on Twitter and he was giving away Empty Hearts guitar picks or something. And so I went to Twitter. I opened a Twitter account. I had not had one before. I opened a Twitter account just so I could try to win a pick, which I did not. And
I didn't win either, so.
But I had my second or third tweet on Twitter was that I got the Cars box set for my birthday. That was in March when it had just come out.
I remember that.
I got it for my birthday. Do you remember that? And my husband made me a cake with the geometric square with the arrow through it design, and because I was really in the beginning of my obsession there. And that's when you and I became friends, because
I commented on that post.
Yes, and I was searching for different Cars groups and stuff. I must have hashtagged or did some group, but then you commented on it, and so then we started following each other, and then
well, not literally.
Shortly after, my husband
that'd be stalking.
Might be worried that you're but no, not literally. And then of course you and I got to talking more. I mean, you what?
I said, you don't want to go through my day. You don't want to follow me.
No, I don't. Nothing personal.
Nothing personal. Yeah.
Right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. So anyway, that's how you and I got to chatting, and you were just so patient with all my gushy responses to everything you posted about Ben. You started More or Monday not very long after that, which was very exciting for me. And then we got to talking about, you did some graphics for me. The Benjamin Orr on the $100 bill, and all that was about the time that I decided I was going to start a blog about Benjamin Orr because I was researching all of this stuff, and I just felt like I needed to share it somehow, even if nobody ever read it. I just needed to get it out of my system and onto, the visual words out in front of me. So you and I consulted a lot about that, and you did some graphics for my blog, and I think that's kind of where things are now. We're both kind of in the groups. We're both on Twitter. I think that brings us up to speed, don't you think?
Brings us up to speed, what's out there. And I think, we get new people all the time coming into the Fanorama. Mm-hmm. And speaking of which, the term Fanorama, I know that somebody on Facebook suggested that name. And I've gone on to make, comments, here and there, Fanorama this, Fanorama that. I've made graphics, but I want to make it clear, I did not invent the term Fanorama. As I recall, somebody, it was a lady on Facebook, came up with it. And for the life of me, I cannot remember who it was. And I'd love to remember because I'd love to give her credit. But
yeah, I tried to track her down. I tried to figure it out because I started my little series on the blog called the Fanorama Files, and where I write about people who their current life right now does something to further the legacy of the cars. And I wanted to find out who, get permission to use that term Fanorama, and I couldn't figure out who it was too. It kept coming back to you. People thought that you did it.
It's not copyrighted.
Let's hope not.
But
I just, it's nice to give people credit when, it's nice to give people credit.
Certainly. So, listeners, that's kind of where we're at with our debut episode. Just kind of giving you a little information out there of how we got here, where we're at. Donna and I plan on doing further podcasts from this point on. Anything and everything about the cars. Not sure how often we're going to do them. We'll just kind of have to see. But we hope you've enjoyed listening to this podcast and listening to us ramble on. And please excuse our technical difficulties that we had at the beginning. But, Donna, why don't you let people know how they can connect with you on social media?
Okay, well, I am on Twitter at Sweet Purple June, and that's also my Facebook handle is Donna Sweet Purple June, and I have a Facebook page called Benjamin Orr Sweet Purple June, and I have my blog. I have two blogs, actually. I have one called sweetpurplejune.wordpress.com, and then I have ElliotEastonblog.wordpress.com. So I'm at all of those locations.
That's fantastic. And I'm a big supporter of yours, as you know.
I know. Thank you so much. I always appreciate it.
Hey, not a problem, Donna. I can be found one place, Twitter, at NiGHT at @night_spots, where you'll see majority of the graphics that I make and so forth and so on. My presence on Facebook is kind of one of a lurker now for
lurker slash smart aleck.
Lurker slash smart aleck. Had to take my graphic sharing elsewhere because some people. Well, I've worked for pages. Let's just put it this way: the page we didn't mention, the big page that they have for the one with like 50K followers. I'll just come right out and say it. And I've already given the disclaimer. That guy's an asshole. So can't do that one. Can't do that one. So
is that your first swear word of the? Was that your first swear word of the show?
I don't. Yeah. You know what my favorite swear word is?
What?
My favorite swear word, dumbass. Dumbass. You can use it
when
in
used
all types
appropriately.
Of
yes, when used appropriately, it's hilarious.
I even use that on myself. It's like, geez, Dave, you dumbass. But yeah, so yeah, my first swear, that's history right there. My first swear word on Night Thoughts was asshole, as in the guy who runs that big page with 50K followers is an asshole. Okay. So anyway, so that's where you can find me at Night Spots. As I said, hope you enjoyed the show. We're going to be ending this podcast with a little outro music, and we hope that you will join us again for episode 2. Thanks, Donna.
Absolutely.
And I will talk to you later.
All right. See ya.
Play a little bit sad.